Hey guys, what's up? Megan here, and today I have decided to show you guys my manga collection. I have been buying manga since 2006, so I have quite a few and many different series, and I actually believe I only have 3 actually now complete series of manga. The rest I'm still trying to work to get them all. But I'm going to go through and show you guys in alphabetical order. Hope you enjoy. Now first we have Plus Anima. I own volumes 1 through 4 and actually bought these back in 2006. I bought 2 and 3 at my book fair at school. I ended up collecting 1 and 4. Although they don't sell them now, they're not printed anymore. It is such a good manga. If you know, I'm a huge fan because I cosplayed Senri from Plus Anima. I honestly just think it's such a good manga. I've read the entire thing. I read it online, but I only own 4 of them. Next we have Alice in the Country of Hearts. Now I only own the first volume of this, but I've always kind of been intrigued when I go into the manga section of a bookstore and seeing all of those Alice in the Country of whatever, because the art style just looks really cool, and it is, I don't know, I really like Alice in Wonderland stuff, as you will notice in a few, but I just thought it was so cool. Now next is the newest anime and manga that I've been introduced to, Assassination Classroom. I only own the first one right now, but I am watching the anime as well. The reason that I got into it is because when I was at Anime Bonsai, there was a Koro-sensei cosplayer, and when I got a grab bag, I got a little Koro-sensei figure to put on. It sits in your glass, like your glasses, like glassware, and I just was like, who is this? So I did some research and I found out who it was, and this show and manga is ridiculous. The whole thing is like they're trying to kill their teacher who's an alien who blew up the moon. There you go. That's all you need to know. Go watch it. Go read it. It's great. Next we have a super popular one, Attack on Titan. I own 1 through 5. I actually prefer the manga to the anime. Surprisingly, there's only a couple that I do that with, but I have actually I'm behind on Attack on Titan. I never really caught in the anime, but the manga is really good. I love the art style of it, and I just think it's such an interesting story, but I would rather read it than watch it, so. And now we have Are You Alice, which is another Alice in Wonderland sale, but this time Alice is a guy, but we don't know if he's actually Alice or not, if he's the true Alice, I guess. I haven't read this one in a while, but I own 1 through 5, and it's really interesting to have like a guy Alice, but they're still calling him Alice. And everything's kind of humanized a little bit, like kind of like Alice in the Country of Hearts, where they're humans but also animals and, you know, that kind of stuff. Next we have one of my few completed series, Beastmaster. There's only 2 volumes in this, but it is so cute. It's definitely a romance, and I hate that I love it. Now in this manga, you have a guy who was actually raised on an island, or I believe in Africa, so he's very beast-like. And this girl who loves animals to death, but animals hate her. They end up falling in love, and yada yada, and it's cute, and I just can't help myself but love it. It's just so cutesy cutesy. Okay. Next is Blackbird 1 through 6. Now this one's all about like demons and like, again, a little bit of romance, but it's like this world where demons exist, and this chick who can like see demons like spirits and they bug her, but like she's like the special one. I can't remember. This is another one that I haven't read in a while, but I definitely recommend it if you're looking more for a different art style, but it's still super pretty. And next we have another super popular, Death Note. I own 1 through 6, and this is another manga that I prefer reading more than watching, because watching that show I get confused very easily, especially when it's first starting it. But I started reading the manga and I'm like, I can actually read this, and I'm actually processing like everything they're thinking, and it made more sense to me. Also it gets more in depth of like what's L thinking, what's Light thinking, and all that stuff. But it is a super good manga and a super good anime. If you haven't watched it, what's wrong with you? Seriously, this is really old. Like, go watch it. Just go or read it, you know, whatever. Go, do it. Next is The Devil is a Part-Timer. Now this is an interesting one that I actually watched all of the anime first and then saw that the manga was coming out in English, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it because I really, really enjoyed this. The whole thing is it's like this world of like magic and, you know, the devil, which I can't remember, he's not the devil, like that's not his name, but he basically is, so like he's a killer and all stuff, but they ended up getting magically teleported to our world. But they become like young kids in Japan, so he ends up getting like part-time job but still trying to like take over the world and stuff. It's super fun and super light, and I just really enjoy it. And again, the art style, you will tell I rave about art style, but I really think that this one is like a cleaner one where it's really got clean lines and it's not too like sketchy or anything. So it's like clean and crisp, but I really enjoyed it. So it's a super good anime, and the manga, I only have 2, but it is really good. Next we have Dracula Everlasting. This is a vampire one where you have Dracula and like Van Helsing, but it's like they get reincarnated, or Van Helsing does. So it's like in the, you know, present day-ish, if I remember right. Now, this one really enticed me because I love vampires. I am super weird about that, but I just thought it was interesting, and the art style is more Americanized, I noticed, than more of the Japanese kind of cleaner or the sketchier version with like really big eyes. It's more Americanized where it has the smaller eyes, but still the big heads. I'm enjoying it, although I don't know if I want to buy more copies of it now that I've read 3. We'll see if I want to, or if I would rather like get more of other series. Next we have what was actually a gift for me called The Dreaming. This is volume 1. Again, it was a gift for Christmas a couple years ago, but I've read 1, 2, and 3. And it's an interesting one where they're like at a school and there's twins and I can't really remember it. Again, it was a gift. I don't plan on buying more because it doesn't entice me like other series do. So I don't plan on getting it. But it's an interesting read. I mean, if you want something kind of different, you can go check it out for yourself. Definitely, you know, make your own opinions about it. I don't know. It's interesting, but again, not for me. Next, we have Full Moon or At Full Moon. Now, this is an interesting manga, again, about vampires, but actually one of them's like a vampire werewolf. So when it becomes a full moon, he turns into a chick. And this vampire is in love with him, and it is slightly yaoi, but it's super cutesy. This one, again, is to my knowledge, is that the complete series, just 1 and 2. Next, we have another vampire one called Hes My Only Vampire. Now, I own 1 and 2, but I'm only reading number 1 right now. This is a newer one that I picked up, but it looked really interesting. It's a vampire one, and, like, she falls in love with him, and I think she, like, becomes a vampire. Again, I'm reading something else right now, but I started this one, and I want to read it, you know, the copies that I have. This is actually the only manga that I haven't read all that I own. So I definitely, you know, it's vampire-y, it's cliche, and I hate myself that I love it. Next, we have a super dark and dingy manga called Judge. And this one is so cool. Like, you have all these characters, and they're basically, like, the different sins and stuff, but they all get taken to this place, and they have to basically, like, kill someone off. And it is so dark and just gritty and gory, and it is so cool. It's so cool. Next, we have another super favorite of mine called King of Thorn. I only own the first one because, to my knowledge, this is not in print anymore, but I definitely still want to buy them. There's 6 copies total. I've read them all. It is so interesting. The whole thing is you're in this world where they have this disease called Medusa, and it turns people to stone, you know, over time. So what they do is they take a select few of, you know, Medusa patients and like cryo freezes them till they have a cure. And the main characters are, well, there's these twins, but twin girls. Only one of them gets picked, so she goes and does it. The other one, they both have Medusa. And then you have this guy who's like a computer hacker, you know, criminal, who doesn't have Medusa, but he's there to figure out to help. I don't know. I can't remember actually the reason he was sent there to do it, but anyway. So they get woken up, but the world has gone to shit. There's plants everywhere and just craziness. But then there's this huge twist, and he's so good. But, warning. Read the manga. Do not watch the anime. As you read this, you're like, oh my god, this would be a great anime. They made an anime movie. They literally changed everything. The main guy is this computer hacker dude, and he's super buff and has tattoos. Nah, he's now like a federal agent. And then, like, they took out such key points and, like, key characters. They literally, it's a completely different thing. If you love the manga, do not watch the anime. Seriously, just do not. Next, we have Loveless. Now, this is a yaoi. I'm weird, I know. But it takes place where everyone has, like, cat ears and tails, and that tells their virginity. But then there's, like, these fighters, and you follow Ritsuka and Sobi. And Ritsuka's name is Loveless, but Sobi's name is Beloved because of Ritsuka's brother, oh my god, I can't remember his name, Seme, I believe. It's super cool. It's definitely interesting. It's super shonen ai though. I mean, they kiss, and I can't remember if it goes further because it's, again, been a while, and I just recently bought these at a secondhand sale. So I thought it was super cool, and I'm just like, it was one of my first yaois, actually, you know, before I got into actually good ones. This one's definitely for, like, junior high type of yaoi introduction. But it's still really good, and the manga is beautiful. Alright, so next we have a manga that I'm just gonna call Madoka Magica, although it's like Paulina Magi Madoka Magica. But anyway, Madoka Magica, I definitely recommend the anime over the manga. I did buy the first copy, but the anime, there's so much to it, and it looks from, like, the front, it's like super girly and super, you know, it's magical girls. But no, it gets so dark and so deep. It, honestly, everyone needs to watch this. It's so good, and I cannot help myself but like the anime feels, all of the feels. Okay, next we have one which I believe is another complete series to my knowledge called Millennium Snow. There might be more, but I, again, don't know. This is another vampire one that I actually don't like. I did get 1 and 2. I bought them myself just because I thought they looked really cool and the art style is something different. But I ended up just not really enjoying it that much. So, again, this is something you can go read for yourself, get your own opinions for. But again, it's like a vampire one, and it's kind of like overly cliche vampire one. So, yeah. Now, next we have Naruto. Now, I've been actually getting Naruto as gifts for a very long time because that was one of the first things that my family was like, okay, she really likes this, so they got me kind of some random volumes. Now I own number 27, number 28, number 29, 33, 45, and 47. The only ones that I bought was 28 and 29 because I want to start with, since those are Shippuden, almost all of them. 27 is right before Shippuden, but it has the extras with Kakashi's, you know, past. Now, I'm not up to date with Naruto at all, but it's such a nostalgia boner that I can't help myself. I mean, it's one of my first animes that I've ever watched. I remember watching it back in, like, elementary school, for crying out loud. But it's such a good one. If you haven't seen Naruto, you can watch it. But again, although it just ended, it's like a commitment to watch Naruto. It is a commitment. And I watch English dub because that's what I grew up on. English sub freaks me out. With the Japanese voices, like, it's not right to me. When I watch some older animes that I watch the English dub, I can't watch English dub. That's just, I don't know, it's too weird for me. Like, I'm so used to this. I do this and I'm like, wait, what? Now next we have a very good series called Noragami. I own 1 through 4. I actually was gifted 1 and 2 by my brother and his girlfriend. And then I bought 3 and 4, and it is a really good series. Like, now Noragami is about this god who actually isn't a god anymore. He's not like worshipped or anything, so he doesn't have a lot of power, but it's like following him trying to become this god, but then it turns into so much more. It's really good, interesting manga, and I've actually recently found out there's an anime to it, which I definitely want to check out, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm getting to that, but the manga is very good. I highly recommend it. Next we have another complete series, but it's not a series because there's only 1 book. It's called Russ Blaster, and this is a slight shonen ai vampire interesting thing. The art style is really cool and I loved it. I think it's really interesting, and I really don't want to say anything about it because since there's only 1 book, it's like all spoilers. But you should definitely check it out. It's really cool. Now we have Sailor Moon, an oldie but a goodie. I own 1 and 2. I've actually never read the manga until recently. I watched the old show again growing up, so super nostalgia. But I have not watched Crystal, but I've watched like the older ones, and I think it is so cute and girly, and I love it. And it's such a staple in like anime and being in this culture of loving, you know, anime and manga. It's such a staple, and I highly recommend it if you have not watched it. Also watch the seasons that were not released in America, because there's literally a group of guys that turn into chicks when they do like their sailor transformation. Excuse me. It's really funny. It's really good. Go watch it. It's really good. Now next we have another oldie, Shaman King. I own 1 and 2, and I actually remember getting the Shonen Jump like big magazine with like manga in it and stuff. If you remember Shonen Jump, like the old actual like giant booklets, you will know how awesome it was. Shaman King was one of them in it, and I recently found it at the store, and I was like, oh my god, and nostalgia, so I bought 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh, this is so good. And the whole thing is like spirits and ghosts and fighting and awesomeness. It's such a good one. Again, not as big of a staple as Sailor Moon is, but such a staple in old, awesome anime and manga. We have another complete series, Soul Eater Not, 1 through 5. If you love Soul Eater, you will like this. Although you follow, the whole thing is you follow these 3 girls who are now going into the school that everyone's in. And like, it's the same world, so like Maka's there, you know, Black Star, everyone's there. But like, they're newbies. So they're still trying to find like, oh, who's gonna be my weapon? Who's gonna be my Meister? And this is 2 weapons, 1 Meister, and they kind of are fighting for having her. It's a little more on the girly side than Soul Eater was, but it's still such a good series. And a Soul Eater, just regular Soul Eater, is great. Obviously, I cosplayed Ajura a couple years ago, so hello. Next, we have an anime that was turned into a manga. This started out as an anime, Tiger and Bunny. I own 1 through 5. Go watch the anime. It's super funny. Make sure you watch it English sub. I know there's an English dub version, but English sub because the Janglish... The Janglish is real. The whole thing is like they're heroes, so the people with superpowers, like there's one that flies, one that gets strength, you know, these type of a thing. This is so funny, but the whole thing about these heroes is they get broadcasted on like TV and stuff, so they have a whole channel for themselves. It's great. I love it. Go watch it. And my last one, we have Ultimo. This one was created in partner with Stan Lee. And you have these 2 doll-like characters that are good and evil, and then you have all the other ones. And it's super cute, super action-packed, super cool. Go read it. I highly recommend it. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. What are your favorite manga? Let me know. Love you all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!